I love that picture.
It's the best. What's going on, you guys? I'm Brandon from Vegas. Welcome back to Won't You Be My Neighbor. As always, I'm joined by my special co-host, Mr. Bill Gaylord. How you doing, Bill?
I am doing awesome.
I finally got the high five down right. Like I'm always going in for the pound, and Bill's always going in for the high five. So I've learned.
You know what I just noticed? Look at my left shoulder. I should give
he's
this
ready.
a high five.
He's ready for the
Boom.
Right?
There we go.
Well,
I'm a high fiver.
On Won't You Be My Neighbor, our goal is to teach you guys real estate. We want to do it efficiently in under 30 minutes. And we want to teach you guys the things that they're supposed to teach you in high school that they failed to mention, right? So to kick them off, today we're going to be speaking about the FHA loan and the 6 steps.
Bless you.
Pardon me, man. The sneezes came on.
I've never seen you sneeze.
I've never sneezed on camera before in my life, man. That was
It's big.
I'm usually
Let it out.
I'm usually what our one of our producers calls media trained. All right, I'm better at this.
Yeah.
But we want to go over the 6 steps to abusing the FHA loan. And I use the word abusing very literally because a lot of people don't realize that the FHA loan, because of the regulations and rules, the primary residence rule, it is an abusable loan, right?
I know.
Man.
Sometimes those sneezes come and they just keep coming and coming and coming.
It won't. It won't stop. Now it's a game to see how many times I can do this, right? Hey, but that's what you get with a live, authentic podcast,
There you go.
right? We
That's
don't.
right.
None of this is edited,
this
man.
is not edited.
We're shooting straight from the hip, giving you guys authentic, real information. So, the 6 steps to abusing the FHA loan. We're going to bounce back and forth, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell them from the real estate side, and you tell them from the lender side.
Right.
Step 1, and this is for any loan, guys. Any loan. Before you guys get started talking to me, before you guys get gung-ho checking on Zillow, what you need to do is speak to a mortgage lender. Until we know what you're qualified for, it's impossible for us to save you money. We can't. How am I supposed to sit there and look you in your face and say, I'm going to save you $20,000 if I don't even know what you can afford, right? So your first step is getting a pre-approval. Bill, tell them how easy it is.
It's really easy. You can go to billgaylord.com. We'll do a free mortgage consultation and go through it. And the biggest fear for so many people, Brandon, is just making that call.
Yeah.
And I've seen every scenario, every credit score, every situation, and there's no judgment. It is basically, I've seen it all. I want to see where you're at today so that we can get you where you want to be tomorrow.
Let's knock out the big fears for them.
Okay.
1, you said free, right?
It's free.
Free, nothing. Costs nothing to do this, right?
Yes, no.
Number 2, the credit ding that comes with getting pre-approved. Is it a major credit ding or is it something that's minor that will wash away?
No, it goes away. And it's typically anywhere from 3 to 5 points on your credit score.
Guys, it's a minor ding, right?
But it's so necessary in order to figure out where you're at.
Sure.
And over time, it's going to, and if you figure out where you're at and you know how to improve it, that 3 points will turn into maybe a plus 40 points.
100%. And the last big fear most people have is, what if I want to check my loan or my rate with multiple people? Do I get dinged every single time I do this?
No. So when you're shopping for a mortgage, you may shop at 5 different mortgage companies. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say me first. But anyways, if you shop, they consolidate it into one ding if all the shopping happens within a 30-day period.
You have 30 days to check your loan, guys. No additional dings. That's a huge thing. So 1, don't be afraid to make a call. Get over that hurdle. If you want to text, Bill is textable as well. Get over the hurdle, get over the fear, and get over the idea that you're going to take some massive credit ding. This is not like buying a car. It's not. We're not here to rip you off and run your credit through 10,000 different lenders and ruin your credit. That's not us here. All right. So step 1 is getting approved with a lender, right? That's the fundamental basis of real estate. Until you have that pre-approval, you're a window shopper. Step 2, and this is important, we are discussing the FHA loan today for good reason. What recently happened that made the FHA loan a viable candidate?
Yeah, they lowered MIP, mortgage insurance premium, and it used to be 0.85%. They lowered it down to 0.55%. which makes a big difference. It's
Yes.
like 1/4%.
Yes.
Low. It's actually 0.3% lower than it was before, and it made a huge difference. FHA almost became irrelevant.
Yeah.
And we would look at a conventional loan way over a
Yeah.
FHA loan
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time.
There was a period in 2020, 2021 where if you were coming at me with an FHA loan, I was like, good luck. No one's going to, if there's a conventional offer on the table, you're just going to get thrown in the trash, right? And I think that's made a big turnaround recently.
Yeah. And if you have a low down payment, meaning 3 to 5%, you can actually do a 3% on a conventional mortgage for a first time home buyer. But if you have a low down payment, it's FICO based. The mortgage insurance on a conventional is FICO based. I've seen mortgage rates or mortgage insurance on a conventional higher than like 1.9%.
Yeah.
So FHA is 0.55 and it's straight across the board. It's a great program right now.
It is. It's fantastic. And most importantly, with the PMI mortgage insurance premium lowered, the FHA loan, in most cases, if your credit score is under 680, which most of the people we run into, right, we get some 700s, some 800s, but a lot of people that we run into are between that 640, 680 range. And if you're in that range, the FHA loan is most likely going to be a better loan for you. In Las Vegas, if you're buying at 500,000 and under, the FHA loan, once again, is probably going to be the best loan for you because the FHA maximum in Las Vegas is 495. You know, if you're looking in the $600,000, $800,000 range, if you've got, 6 figures saved in the bank, if you've got a 700 plus credit score, you know what? Your conventional loan will probably still be a better bet because you have enough money to adjust the rate, right? But most people we talk to don't have 6 figures in the bank.
No, they don't. And we look at both now. Even people with a 700 FICO, 720, we compare because that mortgage insurance right now is better many times than the FHA, number one. And number two, the FHA interest rate is typically about 1/4 to 3/8% lower than a conventional loan.
Yeah.
So those two things combined now make the FHA a super viable program.
Yep. One of the ways the conventional loan does beat the FHA loan is going to come up at the end of today's lesson, right? At the end of today's lesson, there's a little surprise spoiler. There is one distinct category where the conventional loan dwarfs the FHA loan, but we're going to cover that later. It's our grand finale for today, right? A little teaser for him.
I can't wait to hear it.
One of the important things that you guys needed to hear about what Bill just said, okay, is that until you speak to Bill, you really don't know what loan is best for you. You guys are sitting out there, FHA, conventional, da-da-da-da. Bill can handle all of that for you, right? He will sit there and go, and this is the reason I have Bill on the show. Most lenders don't have the time to sit there or won't give you the time to check multiple loans. Bill will go over FHA and conventional. He'll go over all of your options to show you which one saves you the most money, right? That's why he's on the show. That's why he's my recommended guy, right?
Thank you.
So no, you guys don't need to have fear. You don't need to be held up. If you want to know if the FHA loan is better or conventional loan is better, swing for it, all right? Number three, and this is hard for a lot of people to conceptualize. A lot of people get angry when I say this. You are looking for the least expensive home in the most expensive neighborhood.
Yes.
The least expensive home in the most expensive neighborhood. You're basically circling Summerlin, you're circling Green Valley Ranch, and you're going, what's the cheapest home I can afford in these areas?
And why would they do that?
Oh, you're going for equity. You're going for equity, right? The number one reason that you're using the FHA loan is maybe you don't have as much cash in your pocket as the next person. But thanks to equity, which is something we've done an entire lesson plan on, an entire video on that, right? So go check those out. Equity allows you guys to pay to refinance your loans. Equity allows your house to gain value and for you to make money without you needing any additional money in your pocket.
So why would you go to a nicer area for the least expensive home? Why does that make a difference?
Well, Bill,
you tell them. I mean, why does it?
I'm about to tell you guys something.
Is this a secret?
It's not a secret, but people act like it is. You buy a house in Summerlin. You buy a house in a nice neighborhood. You don't have money to fix your house. You barely had enough money to get into this house. You're scrimping and saving. Your neighbor next door, Susan, Keith, Charles, guess what? They've lived in that house for 10 years. They want to remodel. They want to make it nice. They want to make it new. Maybe they want to sell it, right? But they have the money to fix their homes, right? And if Susan's home next door gets remodeled and goes from $400,000 to $450,000, guess what happens to your home? The appraiser comes by. The appraiser goes, well, the house next door went for $450,000. You're the same size as the house next door. I guess you're a $450,000 house now, right? And you guys, we say this humorously, but this is the truth. When you live in nice neighborhoods, the odds of the prices going up in those neighborhoods because your neighbor put the work or the money in is significantly higher than if you're buying in a lower income, no HOA area where people are like, hey, I'm honestly fine with how things are. I don't really need to change much.
Yeah.
When you're buying in Summerlin, change is an everyday thing. That's why it's valuable to buy those in those neighborhoods.
In those neighborhoods, they
100%.
go up a little bit more.
You may be buying, I'm sorry, I want to finish for them.
You keep going.
You may be buying a 1,400 square foot home instead of a 1,700 square foot home. You may be getting a 3-bedroom home instead of a 4-bedroom home. You may not be getting the dimensions that you want. But remember, on your first home or your second home, your goal is just to make as much equity as you can. So on that next home, you can get the one that you want, right? You may not have the cash to get the dream home now, but if you save up enough equity, it can be yours the second go around.
Yeah, and in a nicer neighborhood, it can go up higher and quicker and faster, and it can help you. And now I'm going to pull on my appraisal background, right? So as an appraiser, when you go out to look at a house, Brandon, you're absolutely right. They're looking at the bones of the house. They're not necessarily looking at every single upgrade that they've done inside the house. Well, I got, marble this and this super thing. An appraiser is not going to give you as much value for those special things. They're going to look at the house, how big it is, where it's in location, does it have the bones? And that house that may have better upgrades, your house is going to appraise for probably very close to what that other house sold for.
100%. You're going to buy the least expensive home in the most expensive neighborhood.
I like it.
Right? Number 4, you are going to focus on closing costs instead of list price. So many people, I don't know if it's movies that have told people like, I want $70,000 off the list price. They think they're winning, right? Truthfully, you guys, the $10,000 you save off the list price is probably going to save you $47 on your mortgage. You're haggling over a week's worth of Starbucks, essentially. That $10,000 is better put saving you money in closing costs.
Yes.
Ask the seller to put $10,000 towards your closing costs. Guess what that does? That keeps $10,000 in your pocket. that $10,000 from the list price, who pays that?
The seller.
Who's saying no? I mean, I got a loan for the house.
Yes.
Whether it's $400,000 or $410,000, the bank is paying for that.
Yes.
That's not coming out of my pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, the mortgage is, but the $410,000 is not.
And that $10,000, we did a calculation this morning, Allie, one of my associates, and we have a buyer that is a little bit short of cash to put down. So if they got $10,000 from the seller, maybe the sale price was a little bit higher, right? It cost them $66 a month. Otherwise, they would have had to save $10,000, and it would have taken like 10 years, or I don't know the calculation, but 10 years at $66 a month to save $10,000.
Those are the best numbers possible.
The other point is that if you are buying like $500,000 house, right? And you're like, oh God, I have to add $10,000 to the sale price. Well, guess what? If that house goes up by 5% a year, which is very typical, we talk about it. So that's going to go from $500,000 to $525,000 in 1 year, and you finance that $10,000. You're already $15,000 ahead. You've already made up that $10,000 that the seller paid for the closing costs.
100%. I'm telling you, the numbers don't lie. Getting money off the list price, focusing on the list price doesn't save you as much money as you think it's going to do.
Correct.
Right? Number 5, and this is one of the tough ones that people, they know it's true, but they don't like hearing it. Your first year in the house is the toughest year in the house. You're no longer paying the rent, right? You're no longer paying the rent on an apartment. You now have a mortgage. This is your business. This is your asset. That rental, you didn't care about that rental. Whether you paid, whether you didn't pay, you would have found another rental. It wasn't yours, right?
Yeah.
The house is yours. This is something that's going to be passed down, right? Your first year is tough and it's hard, and you have to save your ass off. You can't live the way you did when you lived in the rental. You don't have the same disposable income that you had when you lived in a rental. That's no longer disposable income. That's cover your ass for a rainy day income.
CYA income.
CYA income. You know what I mean? And it's simple. I know this isn't even real estate involved, but your first year in the house, save your ass off. All right? Seriously, make it a game to see how little money you can spend every day. The reason we're telling you this is for number 6. This is the grand finale.
Okay.
This is where conventional loans are better than FHA loans, right? For an FHA loan to be converted into or refinanced to a conventional loan, you need 20% down. But you can have this in cash or equity, correct?
Correct.
And this is why number 3 is so important and why we tell you guys to move into the least expensive home in the most expensive area. We're here to generate equity because you can use your equity instead of cash to refinance into 20% down.
Correct.
Why is 20% down so important?
So 20% down, even 10% down, 15% down, it lowers the mortgage insurance. You can you can convert from an FHA loan to a conventional loan on a refinance, reduce mortgage insurance, potentially eliminate mortgage insurance if the property has gone up.
Sure. And for you people who want to get into real estate investing in the future, these are some numbers that you need to understand. When you first buy your house with an FHA loan, your mortgage is probably going to be too high for you to rent it out and make some kind of profit. But once you pay it off, and put that 20% down, not only are you going to eliminate the mortgage insurance, but it's going to shrink your total mortgage significantly. And it's probably going to put it into rental range where now you don't just have a house, you have an investment property.
Correct.
Right? And the best thing I like to teach people is once you have 20% down, once that's converted into a conventional loan, you can reuse your FHA loan.
Yeah, and it's important to really get into a service that kind of tracks where your value is going each and every month. We have one that's just, I think, spot on and really good with the clients that we work with. It tells them how much equity they have, and it allows them to like not forget about it. Some people like 3 years, do you think I can refinance now? And they, and they kind of like, really?
You get so busy with your home and life and kids, right?
But as soon as you think that you're close to that 20% and the rates make sense, it may be time to refinance. Sometimes you will refinance and the interest rate isn't a lot lower. It may be 0.25%, 0.5% lower, but you're removing mortgage insurance, which is like another 0.5% or more. So sometimes the numbers, it's just looking at it and see where you're at.
And this is where conventional is superior to FHA loans. With conventional loans, you don't have to refinance. Once you hit your certain thresholds, boom, triggered, mortgage insurance gone, 20%, your house is now an asset. So quick recap for everybody. Number 1, speak to a mortgage lender. Bill Gaylord's right here. He's easy to reach. Working with him is free. Number 2, decide a good loan for yourself. We're probably going to lean towards the FHA loan right now for most people because they lowered the mortgage insurance. 3, you are going to find the least expensive home in the most expensive part of your city. Number 4, you are going to aim for closing cost instead of list price. That's going to save you significantly more money. If you can get both, good for you, but your aim is closing cost. 5, you are going to save as much as you can your first year in the house. The goal is for you to save up enough cash and equity to refinance. And number 6, you are going to track your equity. Once you have 20% equity in cash or equity, you're going to refinance into a conventional loan. And there you have it. You have now abused the FHA loan. You have a fully functional asset. You can reuse your FHA loan and repeat this process over and over and over again. I'm
going to add one more, and I'm going to call it number 7.
Okay.
You need to have amazing representation, like this guy over here, that knows how to get things done, how to negotiate. The best negotiator I've seen out there. You got to have that good representation. It's I can't tell you. I've worked with thousands of realtors, honestly, in my life. And you know how to negotiate, and it's great to see. So
yes, sir.
Get your representation in place because it's super important.
This is a super team. This man will make sure you're saving the most money. I'll make sure we're ripping the seller off. we've got your back here. Hey,
We got your back.
Bill, thank you for your time as always. I appreciate it. Thanks my co-host Bill over at Cross Country Mortgage. Bill, let him know how to reach him.
BillGaylord.com. Really simple. Set up a free mortgage consultation. We'll go through the numbers. I do it in 5th grade math so that I understand it. So it's easy. So BillGaylord.com.
And I'm Brandon from Vegas. You can find me on all platforms, mostly social media, Zillow, Realtor, YouTube, TikTok. On my TikTok
He's the man.
On my TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, there's a real estate contact form. You fill it out. Reach out to us. I'll make sure you connect with Bill, and we'll get you going. As always, guys, I'm Brandon from Vegas.